Hi, Katie here from the COPS team. For every parent, there are the moments you don't think you can take another step. Florence shares about one of those days and the unexpected way that God met her in it. Now, let's watch.
Just take me home right now so that I can be released from all these responsibilities, pain of, the three of them is like so challenged. It's like, especially Ken, so challenged, it's not just because of Kai, it's like escalated challenge. He's not around, all the different needs of different children, financial issues. It's like escalating and the kind of depression that I felt is like up to my brim. And I said, Lord, I cannot take it anymore. And just can you bring me home? But I'm so thankful that there's a refuge. That is my space that I can go without any reason. Can go boldly to the throne of grace. And God will not judge me. I can pour, I can release, I can cry, in the midst of it. And God will always give me that comfort. And even many times when I find myself in the toilet, Kai will write me little notes because he knew I was crying inside. He knew how painful, how difficult. He knew how challenging it was. And then he will write me notes and he was sleeping inside. And that also such my comfort. And in days when I felt down, and he even will pray for me, with his very, very simple, but I thought it was very simple but spiritual that bring me to tears. And that was Kayan. So I also remember there was once he wanted this iPad, and then I didn't give it to him. And then, as I shared just now, he will always fight with me. But this time around, I just felt I got no more strength to fight anymore. It's like, I use a hard way, soft way. It's not working. And I told the Lord, I was doing my laundry. He was like using towel, throwing, he tried because he's manipulative. He want to antagonize me, you see? So he thought I will retaliate. And true enough, there's a couple of times that I retaliate out of my flesh. But this time around, I just told the Lord, God, I surrender. Even my authority as a mom, this authority give me as a mom, I'm just going to surrender. So he was throwing, but I didn't react. I just tell God, you see, my son is my enemy. And actually, by pouring out that to God, actually, it stunned my son because I never respond. So he withdrew, he stopped throwing. And I just cried to God. I said, God, my family, my son is my enemy. And it was so amazing that day when I had my emotion. God brought me to Mika. And God said, your enemy is in our household, It's in our household. Your son, your daughter-in-law, your children, they are your enemy. But listen to the one below. Say, the evil one. It's like speaking to them. You don't have to brag in front of me. Though I am in darkness, God is my light. Though I fall, my God will lift me up. And in hope, I will be fulfilled. Wow. How amazing that is. Only God knew where I am, how broken, how painful. If I tell people might say, wow, how can you allow your son to do that? You know what I mean? It's like, they don't understand. I did always, but only God understand. When we choose to let go, when we choose to surrender. And I thank God for my son, that he has cornered me to turn to God. And when I turn to God, I tasted that power can arise out of that challenge and not give in, and yet has the power to overcome the challenges that my son is loading upon me.
Yeah. So in handling client, I am not as spiritual as Florence. So I always use logic. I use force. I try to outsmart him. I remember when he was younger, he always wanted to watch TV. I want to watch TV. I always say, okay, go watch TV. But then don't turn it on. So sometimes he will comply. Okay, because he only asked to watch TV. He never say I can turn on. So I say, okay, go watch, but don't turn on. And at times when I have to use force, I will use force. I even told him, I even lecture him in public. I remember because he was always trying to get what he wants, especially in public. We thought, okay, we will not lecture him in the public. So once I warned him in the coffee shop, we were having meal. So I warned him, don't think I will not lecture you in the public. And then he tried, so I lectured him in the public. Yeah. And I always say this son, I share with my pastor, 他是来讨债，跟我讨债。I don't know how to say it in English. He is the one that really give me a lot of headache. I struggle with him, but he's also the one that brought me a lot of joy. So he gave me the most laughter and hate. So because at very young, he always very sticky to me. Then always stick to me, and he is very, very, very active. So I always tell my church friend, even at 3 years old, he doesn't know how to walk. Then everybody was so surprised. Why he doesn't know how to walk? I say, other than sleeping and lying down, when he wake up, he start running. So he never walk. So then they know. I remember once we were scheduled to go to a Keelong trip. Just right before the trip, we were in church. He fell down and hurt his head and has a cut on the forehead. So I thought, okay, then we have to scrap off the trip and we're not going to follow the group. So we brought him to the hospital, and this medical staff look at it, say, okay, we can treat with just medical glue. So it was glue back and then stopped bleeding. And then my church friends start calling me, say, hey, hello, are you all going for the trip? So I thought, okay. So he has stopped bleeding. So we brought him to the trip. So we went to this Keelong meaning holiday resort in the middle of the sea. Is at the east coast of West Malaysia. So we travel all the way to the resort, and because he was so active, I was so worried that he would just jump into the sea anytime. So even at night when we were sleeping, I have to use a string to tie his leg to my hand, so that if he move, I know. So you can imagine how active he is. So I always worry that he will get hurt, he will fall down. So he's the one that let me worry the most of the 3 kids.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
There's so much accident. I mean, can't relate everything in detail, but always so many accidents. Hit here, hit there. It's like I turn, he's gone, kind of thing. You know, so it's like my church, when I always say, wow, you have a big heart. Because when they look at him, they also say, wow, you have the big heart. I say, no, it's because my heart is so weak. God is giving me a son like that to strengthen my weak heart. Yeah, so there's so much of, like what Louis has mentioned, so much of pain, but yet there's a lot of joy, because he's a very sweet boy in nature. He will always know that when we are sad, he will, he's very sweet in his word, he will cuddle us, he will say things, because he's a jovial child by nature. So as he grew, of course, things gets worse. Like when he reached like 12, and as he get older, the difficulty and the challenges escalated.
Sometimes the lowest moments hold the seeds of real change. In the next episode, you will see how the story continues and how the challenges at home start to take a different shape. We will see you in the next episode.